freaking just disappointed, obviously. Coming here to play TCU for senior night. Going out did not start the way you wanted to start. The defense did great, 3 and out. First punt, getting ready to get the ball, and we go and try to stop the ball from rolling, and it bounces off our knee, and they get a ball there, and it cost us 7 points. And then now we're gun shy, catching punts, and we don't field 3 of them that go inside the 15, 10-yard line, and it just kills us. The turnovers tonight, we end up with 3 turnovers to their 1. Obviously, it was the difference in the game. Proud of our defense. We put them in some bad situations tonight. As a very high-powered offense with some outstanding receivers, quarterback. I think they're 6th in the country in passing to hold them to 20 points. Outstanding job by our defense, and they gave us a chance. I think, again, great night by Corey. Man, he ran his butt off all year long. Did it again tonight. Finished, with another good game from him. I thought Sorsby played hard tonight as well. Probably, he ends up with 160 yards passing, but probably had 5 drops on the night, and that would have certainly helped a little bit of that. Ran hard as well. But again, I think, didn't score enough points. That's what it came down to with 13 points tonight. It got tough there in the second half with the snow and but I still think we were moving the ball pretty good, pretty effectively, and just didn't get it in the end zone enough. And but disappointed, But I think proud of these seniors. I really am. These guys that have done a great job, laid some great foundation here. Very resilient, never quit. It'd been easy tonight again just to lay it down. Didn't do it. Continued to fight. And that's the most thing I'm proud of with the seniors. And I really appreciate those guys.
For 7 or 8 games, you guys were the #1 field position team in the country. What went wrong over these last 4 to make it flip so drastically?
Yeah, just it's one thing or another. It's tonight. It was trying to field a ball. It was trying, Then we don't catch the ball 3 times that go inside the 5-yard line. The one punt he had in the first half was 55 yards, but it landed at 32, 34, somewhere in that range, and it went 55 because we didn't field it. So. That's a huge piece of it. It's just going up and catching the punt. I think, or it's punting the ball where you're supposed to punt. I think about the last, 3 or 4 games. Punting the ball where you're supposed to punt it. It's just really just doing your job, what you're supposed to do. That we did in the first probably 6 or 7 games. In the last 3 or 4, we did not. And it all works when everybody's just supposed to do that when they do their job, and we just didn't do it, and therefore you lose the field position battle. And these games that are so freaking close that come down to it, those are the extra yards that you need to get, obviously, to get you over the hump.
Coach, that interception in the corner of the end zone really hurt. As far as momentum, what did you see on that play, and was that a play where Sorsby probably should have just thrown it away? Yeah,
it's a play. We haven't run that play. We're bringing guys inside, trying to create some mesh and try to get out. Tony got grabbed on that play as he's headed out right there. That's who he's trying to throw it to. Yeah, it really obviously should have thrown it away. Just throw it out of the back of the end zone because you really just want to get points at that point. We did a good job to get down there. And didn't get him loose enough out there, so he threw it in the back corner, but the defender's running there. So we got to throw that out of the back of the end zone. And that, again, that's just, forcing the ball when you don't need to force it.
In large part, most areas your team progressed from last season. Special teams wasn't one of them. What, I guess, needs to change the biggest?
Yeah, we're going to assess that whole aspect of special teams. We've got to make sure we have the proper guys. I think, Max in practice has been a really good punter. Hopefully he'll be able to continue and do some great things at punting. Go figure out, in the kicking, as far as the kicker goes, who we need to get for that, because it's such a valuable commodity to have a great kicker. Knock down some field goals, as we know. You think about 2 games coming to mind, Pitt and Texas Tech this year. Just to be able to knock those down, and then also, as you look at, all right, who's going to be the returners? I think that's huge. We're not a threat this year really in the return game because, we never got anybody going in that. So we got to do a great job with that. Really, so it really comes down to some personnel, but then also really evaluate what are we doing. Like, what are we doing? How can we get better? How can we get better in the kicking game? Because we're not far off, man. We're not far off. We're 5-7. I know that's disappointing. Everybody hates it. I hate it. It sucks. We're not that far off. Again, if you just a couple of plays, there's a couple of things we do right in the kicking game, or turnovers. We all looking at that thing. It's a lot different. And so yeah, we're going to reevaluate. We'll reevaluate the whole program. We'll figure out what we got to do better. I mean, offense, defense, and kicking, but certainly kicking in the last 3 to 4 weeks, I think it's really amplified to where we need to get better at that.
8 wins in 2 seasons, Scott. Why should the fan base be confident in the direction of this program?
Yeah, well, because we're trending up and we're going in the right direction. We played a lot of young players tonight. I look out on defense. Simeon's making tackles. Monte Whedon, Saints. These are all true freshmen that came in and had a huge impact on our team. And not only them, we played a bunch of freshmen across the board. Those guys are going to get better in the offseason. We feel like we got a great nucleus of guys coming back that really competed at a high level this year in the Big 12. The Big 12, as we all know, is an extremely competitive conference. I mean, everybody's got at least 2 losses in this league. Everybody's beating everybody up. And, in order to win these games, you have to be very buttoned up, meaning, the least amount of mistakes teams are going to win. If the penalties, if the turnovers, the kicking game. So we're not that far off. We'll get a few more pieces to the puzzle this offseason here in the next 3 to 4 weeks, because we all know signing date's Wednesday of next week, and then the portal's going to open up, and it's going to be fast and crazy for about 3 weeks in December. And a lot of times in that effort right there can make or break how you're going to be next year. You're going to be very good, or you're going to be average. And so we have already started on that. We feel good about the next 3 weeks.
Scott, you mentioned special teams. What is next on your list of what you need to most be worried about as you head into the offseason?
You still might be worried about, like, what do you mean?
What's like the next thing you're most focused on?
Oh, well, it's number one. For the next month, it's acquiring talent. That's the most thing that we're focused on. It's like getting players in here that can come help us win. And we've got pretty much got our signing class ready to roll, which will again be next Wednesday, and then it starts for the portal. And we all know now this year we're not going to take as many in the portal as we did last year. I think last year we take 26 or 7 last year. This year we're probably going to be 12 to 14. So we're limited in that because we don't feel like we're in pretty good shape. We fill in some gaps. So there's another reason where I think we've developed some depth. And now these guys will help add to that. And so the next 3 to 4 weeks, that's all we're doing is recruiting every day. And, trying to get some great talent in here. And then we'll be reassessing the whole program and all the things we got to do to make us better.
You didn't throw as much in the first half, I think 25 yards. And then the snow comes, and then in the second half you're throwing a lot in the snow. Were those plays just not there in the first half?
Well, I mean, I think a little bit was happening with the turnovers. You fumble with muff the thing, so you don't get as many plays. I think they had more plays there early in the game, and then then we get a fumble, give the ball right back to them. I think we were trying to establish the run. We felt like if we can do that, keep their offense off the field, which was going to be our best defense. And try to stay on the sticks as well. So if you go to throw it and incomplete, well, now you're a long yardage situation again. And then in the second half, we knew we had to come back out, open it up a little bit more in the second half, which we did. And it was tough sledding out there. We had several drops. They did too. But I do think we were able to open it up a little bit more there with throwing the football in the second half and got a little bit more comfortable with it.
You've had seasons where you've had a lot of staff turnover in the offseason. How confident are you that this staff and pool of assistants is the group that you need to get this program to where you want it to be? Yeah,
I mean, again, I think we're headed in the right direction. I think these guys have done an outstanding job. I think this was one of the more connected teams we've ever been a part of. We love coming to work. We love being with these guys. I know people want wins, and I do too, but I do think that is a great foundation to get wins. I think if you get the right people, they're going to keep giving you a chance to win games. I think our guy does an outstanding job. So we'll see where we're at. You'll see where we're at with it. Again, we're going to evaluate everything. Every personnel in our department we're going to evaluate. We'll sit down and look at every single one, every person, and decide what we want to do, and then also how can we get better, like as an individual, each person. And I think that's what we have to do, and you do that every single year. So we're going to evaluate it all and see where we're at with it.
I know this probably isn't at the top of your priority list right now, but there is a chance that you could get invited to a bowl game. Is that something you would accept if given the opportunity?
Well, I mean, I said in the locker room to those guys, I wish we could keep going with these guys. We enjoy working with them. They bring it every day. And again, that'll be something we'll look at and evaluate. I have no idea where that's at with as far as how many teams win or didn't win today. with that. But we'd certainly love to play some more ball, just like we like being around each other. We like competing.
Towards the end of the game, there was a reset of the play clock.
Yep.
There were a lot of conversations going on with referees during the timeouts. Was there some miscommunication happening with the referees towards the end of
Yes.
the game?
Yes, it's unbelievable, actually. The clock, he said he was trying to reset the clock with the clock operator. He said he wasn't looking at him. And so when he finally looked at him, it was already down to 12 seconds. And so they reset it back up to 25. Well, the game clock's running. Well, now it goes to 2 minutes. They should have snapped the ball before the 2-minute warning, which would have saved us 40 more seconds. And he had no explanation.
Happened earlier on a punt too, didn't it? When they delayed bringing their punt team in.
Yeah, I was wondering what happened on that. They didn't even give me an explanation on that one. But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes, the clock was running. Yes, yeah, but that's 40 more seconds. You think about having the ball. We had the ball plus 45 at the end of the game. There, if we had 40 more seconds, we just came off the 5-yard line, so we just went 50 yards. 40 more seconds would have been awesome to have, and it really wasn't a good explanation.
Scott, you mentioned last year that it was going to be an extremely difficult winter for your program. Yes. Going into this winter, what do you anticipated? I know you touched on earlier with what your priorities are. What do you anticipated looking like in the winter before spring practice in March?
Yeah, and so as we go and evaluate our whole program, looking at the ways and things that we need to get better at, in several games, it's, errors. If we're having errors, how can we get those corrected? So, when we go through our winter program this year, it will be difficult. It will be hard. I feel like we'll do a lot more football-specific drills as well. The thing that, as you look at winter programs, a lot of times you're trying to get stronger, you're trying to gain weight, you're trying to do all those things, but we're going to have to incorporate football aspect of what we're doing within the off season. Meaning, after a big workout, we're tired, we're hurting. Let's do some football stuff, obviously within the rules, and to see how mentally sharp we are, because that's where we got to get better. And I think as we evaluate that, we'll look at that. We got to look at spring practice. We got to look at how we're doing that. We got to look at how we're going to get better between now and we play our first game next year, and the way the calendar looks and the way the calendar falls, and are the roster limits going down to 105? Yeah, that's another thing. If you're looking, where guys have 118 or 120 guys, now you got 105. Well, you're going to have to look. You got less people. So all these things will be evaluated and do the best thing we can do to help our team win.
You have guys that have eligibility left. One of those, Joe Royer. How important would it be to retain him?
Yeah, obviously it'd be great for us to be able to retain Joe and get him back here. I mean, he's gonna look and see where he's at in the NFL and evaluate that. And he's certainly a guy who can get drafted and see where he wants to do. If he want to come back and continue to develop and to get better and better, I feel like he's got a huge ceiling. He can get better and better. But we know he's a talented player, and but hopefully he's coming back and we can make a good run at it next year.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you guys. Appreciate you.
How was that, and how are you? Are you healthy?
Yeah, I made it out pretty good. Obviously disappointed that we couldn't get that one done for the seniors and just, obviously this team and the fans. It was a crazy game, every week. We always got to find ways to improve and get better, but I was proud of the way that we fought, and, we fought until the game was over.
Brandon, after a full season in Big 12, what's been your biggest takeaway on areas that you need to improve in heading into next season?
Just continuing to take what the defense gives me. Just finding completions throughout the game. There's times whenever I try to be too perfect and the ball ends up sailing on me or whatnot, so just finding ways to get that just fixed over the course of the offseason.
How fun's playing in the snow?
It was definitely a first, yeah. They were talking all week. They're like, these Texas boys, man, they don't like the cold. And I was like, it's true. I don't know how else to say it. But, yeah, no, it was definitely fun being out there with the guys, man. It was definitely a fun environment.
Does it feel like it's just a mixture of everything going wrong with the downfield passing game this month?
Yeah. I mean, more so just defenses, just dropping guys deep on us and just making us take the stuff underneath and, credit to those teams that we have played in the past month and a half that, have taken that away from us. And, we just got to continue to find ways to, going into the next season, find ways to get that ball down the field.
Coach Satterfield said this is one of the most connected groups he's been a part of and that you guys are not that far off at 5-7. How confident are you that this group or people that you may add could get this team to where it wants to be?
Yeah, we're really close to being really, really special. Obviously, I felt like the group was really close, and that helped in a lot of ways. But we just got to continue to find ways to win those close games and the one-score games. And I think over this course of this next offseason and the many additions or whatever that we end up having, I think will be very huge for us, and I think that we will be very good going forward.
Second half, a lot of things started to open up for you guys there on the offensive side of the ball. You were able to use your legs and really use that to your guys' advantage. What were you seeing from TCU's defense to really allow that to put you guys in position to have a chance here?
Guys were finding windows in the zone, and then whenever they were taking it away, they weren't really accounting for me in the run game. So just trying to make play with the legs, and if somebody popped open down the field, just try to hit them.
It's the portal era, so everybody's going to have the same question. Plans on returning to Cincinnati for next year?
Absolutely. No, I love this place. I think that we can be, like I just said, just something. I think that we can be very special as a program, and I think that we can get this place back to what it was a few years back whenever they were in the playoff. We just got to find a way to stack the days this offseason and get the right pieces in here that are going to make us that championship contender.
Coach Satterfield mentioned the youth on this team is reason for fans to stay bought in. How much does that help heading into this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, we have a ton of young guys that are out there playing meaningful snaps for us and making very, very big plays. So, I just challenge this fan base, and I know that they will. Just stick with us. We're going to find a way to win some games next year that that we didn't win this year, and we're going to be much better off. But we just got to find a way to stack days.
One more question.
If for some reason at 5-7 they said, Cincinnati, we need you in a bowl game, are the guys ready to go?
We'll be ready to go if they do end up saying that. But obviously you just take a couple days here, let the guys get some rest, and take it all in. And that's some of those guys. If we don't end up going to a bowl game, it'll be the last time that they ever play football. So just let those guys take it all in, and if that ends up happening, we'll be ready to go.
All right, that's it. Thanks, Brendan.
Thank y'all.
That was a pretty good offense. You held to 20 points and no points in the second half. Obviously, you want to win, but do you take anything from that?
Yeah, before the game, we had a little defensive player meeting amongst ourselves. It was just like playing as one for another one. Just leave it all out there. Play with, to the best of your ability. Play with everything on the line, and I think we did that. I think we played really hard today, and it doesn't always fall your way. So.
Obviously, getting at the end of your career, how much did this time at Cincinnati mean to you, just kind of capping off your college experience?
Yeah, it meant a lot. The relationships and connections that I built with these guys, my teammates, my coaches, really just being able to really love the game and play the game, just being around here. The city of Cincinnati, it was a great opportunity. I'm glad I made this decision. I'm glad I came here. I'm glad. I'm really glad that I came here.
Jared, a lot of youth on that defensive side of the ball. What did you see from the young guys that have been contributors that should make Cincinnati fans hopeful for the future of this program?
Yeah, especially in my own room, Monte Whedon and Simeon Coleman, Jay Golday, JT, like those are really impressive guys. And with two of those guys being freshmen, with them being able to get a full off season of training, strength training, and acceleration training and stuff like that, being in the defense a little bit longer, those guys are gonna be really good players. And I'm excited to see how their careers continue to develop and stuff like that. Really, really explosive. Good players.
Sorry, kind of going off that, but how much better can this defense get next year, especially under Tyson Veit? Just the new scheme this year, and you kind of saw it progress at the end of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. I answered this question a little bit earlier in the season with us getting more snaps as the season went on. Guys understanding their jobs more and more. Obviously, it's the first year of the defense. You can't really expect everything to be ran to perfection, but with a full offseason, guys knowing what to expect, guys now having that game experience, it's going to be a really good defense next year.
Anything else for Jared? All right, Jared, thank you. Jared.
Thank you.
John, it doesn't mean a whole lot after a loss, but single season receptions leader, all time for the program. When you look back on it, how special do you think will be to you?
Yeah, like you said, honestly, I don't even know how to feel about it right now, man. If we would have won, it would be a different story. But just kind of seeing how some of my teammates were up there and the seniors, man, really just broke my heart. So I'm just kind of focused on them and the team right now. But I'm sure whenever I kind of get a moment to really reflect on it, man, it will be extremely special. And I'm so grateful that I was able to do it here.
Joe, what do these next couple weeks look like for you as you evaluate your future on whether you're going to go pro or come back for another year?
Yeah, not really even thinking about it right now, honestly. Just kind of take these next couple days and weeks and just kind of be there for the team and be there for the guys who, you know, won't be coming back. And I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but don't really have an answer for you right now.
How did you deal with not getting the ball sometimes? You only had one target in the first half, but then you broke the record in the second half and finished with 7. But it just, there was a lot of games. It seemed like, I don't know if it was the defense or if the offense couldn't get it to you or what the story was.
You know, I mean, honestly, I feel like, you know, fans and other people were more mad than I was that maybe I wasn't getting the ball. You know, it's a team sport. It's not all about me, you know. If I was going to break the record, it was going to happen, you know, God willing, everything, and it did. But, you know, I'm just trying to do what's best for the team. And, you know, if they think we got to run the ball and I got to block more, then I'll do it. Or if, you know, they're going to throw the ball to other guys in routes, man, I'm all good, man. I just want to win. That's what I came to this university to do.
We kind of talked about the whole season, just this being your first year as a full-time tight end. What was your biggest lesson being that TE1 for a big-time university?
Just trying to get better each week. You know, you play a couple games, you think you might have it figured out, but, you know, there's things that happen throughout the season where you got to get better at them, and there's things that I need to get better at and that I still need to get better at. So just that and just really just taking care of my body. You know, I've never had this workload before, so just being able to be out there every day for the Bearcats, man, that was my main goal, and just to try to help us win as many games as I can, man. So that's what it was.
What do you think was the biggest reason you were able to get so many targets, get open so often this season? Was it your technique? Was it just the timing of the routes and the patterns throughout the season? What do you think?
You know, it's coaching. You know, from practice and stuff, you know, you got to put good stuff on film so they trust you to try to get you the ball. And you know, that was kind of my thing. You know, put good stuff on there in practice and be an everyday guy who shows up, get them to trust me and get Brendan to trust me. You know, there's so much that goes into catching the ball, man. You got to run the route, get your certain depth, read the coverage. O-line's got to hold up. Brendan's got to throw a good ball, man. So really just shout out to everyone. You know, it's not just me catching the ball.
I know you have more time to reflect on if you just had to go to the NFL, but what has playing at Cincinnati meant to you?
Man, it's saved my football career, honestly. You know, there's times up at Ohio State when I was kind of going through what I was going through, and I was like, even last year, before I transferred here, I was like, you know, I might not play again. But just being able to come here, coaching staff, especially Coach Stepp, my position coach, man, I can't thank him enough and say enough nice things about him, man. I truly believe that he and the staff and the city really just saved my football career.
Any questions for Joe? Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe.